The PHNX Suns pregame show. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul. That's Flex. That's Espo. And we are presented by Michelob ULTRA. It's a Sunday afternoon game. There's no better compliment to Suns basketball than an ice cold Michelob ULTRA.
2.6 carbs, 95 calories, all taste.
You gotta love it. All right, guys. The Suns are looking to get back on track today. I'm going to say tonight 85 times. Y'all just going to have to deal with it, okay? Today against the Los Angeles Lakers. General feelings, what you guys got in your guts right now? How are you feeling about things?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm
okay.
good. I like the other night sucked against Houston. You should have won that game. There's no reason to lose that game, but I'm good. I know the rest of Suns universe is not so good. I've seen a lot of things. Listen, can I say something about?
Sure.
And I just want to say, first of all, I have no relationship with Bradley Beal. Okay. However, I think the amount of hate that he is getting on social media is so damn silly. I can't even comprehend it. Like, the guy is injured. What do you want? Like, and everybody, and you can tell that the people that don't really know the ins and outs of it, because they're like, oh, we could have gotten, valuable role players instead of instead of Beal for CP3. No, you couldn't have. No. Nobody was doing that. Like, the Suns are probably most likely going to cut him if they weren't able to get rid of him. Like, you wouldn't have been able to do anything. So I just do not like the fact that Bradley Beal is getting so much flack. Also, like, if you know anything about Bradley Beal, and this is where I'll go, Bradley Beal is a genuinely phenomenal dude.
Yeah,
like, he does so many things in the community. He's he's very, very philanthropic. He's just a good dude, and he's a good basketball player. It's just bad luck sometimes when things roll out like this. It's not like he's trying to get hurt. He wants to play. And I do believe if it was the playoffs right now, he would play. Like, it's just, man, we got to stop with this.
And so you bring up a great point on you weren't getting anything else. If they cut him, it wasn't like you were going to have $40 million in cap space. You weren't going to be able to sign anybody.
Yeah.
So you had to make a move that tried to help you in the present. And this was the best move that you could make, because most teams weren't going to just take on Chris Paul's salary and the bathtub that came with it.
Yep. Yeah, no, there was no other options. It was a unique situation where Brad had the option of a veto clause in his deal. The Wizards were ready to rebuild. There was a short list of 2 teams he wanted to go to, and Chris Paul's numbers fit. And it was obvious by the fact that Chris Paul drank a cup of coffee in Washington and was shipped out to Golden State. So there was no other option.
He didn't even get the coffee.
He didn't even get the coffee properly. Yeah. There's no other options, man. And I love Brad Beal. I'm glad you said that. We joke around with the Monty thing about how, Landry Shamet could marry his daughter. If somebody on this basketball team could marry my daughter, it would be Brad Beal. He's such a wonderful human being, and it just bothers me that he's getting so much flack for having some unfortunate injuries. But I think he'll be back soon. I like him to be back potentially Thursday.
I stand on my own business. Bradley Beal is going to win us a couple playoff games.
Okay.
I firmly believe it.
Maybe even a series. Maybe even a series. I'll go as far as to say I think he's going to be the deciding factor in a series in the playoffs. But to answer your question, Liz, I feel good. I've said this before. I don't live and die with every win and loss. We've all been through this too many times. You can win a whole lot of games in a regular season and mean nothing. You can have a bad regular season and turn it on. So it was a bad loss versus Houston, but I'm looking forward to them turning it around today. And in this 4-game homestand, I'm optimistic about.
I am concerned, but only because of the opponent and where you sit in regards to the opponent. You're only 2.5 ahead of them. You lose today, that drops to 1.5. You give them a window where they're close to you. You win today, you make it 3.5. I think you can start to look past the Lakers being potentially a problem for you. That's why I think today is important. Not because they lost to Houston, not because they lost to Dallas, but because you look at it and you're looking at a packed West, and this is a team that could be right on your heels. They're a team that's 7-2 in their last 9. They've really turned it on. I want as much separation as I can have against teams like that. That's why today is a concern for me.
And I'll remind Lucas, too, because they said in the chat, I mean, at this point, having CP3 and still doing the Ayton deal would have been acceptable. I feel like Chris Paul's still out, and he's hurt. He got hurt real bad this year. He is close to coming back, but, like, you would have dealt with injuries if he stayed on this team, too.
Lindsay,
that's inevitable.
Yeah, can I piggyback on that, please? The Suns at this very moment last year, with Chris Paul and the guys that we don't have anymore that they wish we had, with 30-27 at this very moment last year. There were 3 games above 500 at the 57-game mark, 30-27. The Suns are 33-24, 9 games above 500. And so you can say you wish you had this, you wish you had that, but don't a little selective amnesia.
Yeah, that's across the board too, though. I mean,
let's go
all the way back to the Kevin Durant trade, right? There was people that were not happy about it because we lost Mikal and Cam, right?
Yeah.
We lost, and then we get Ishbia as the owner. Hell, Ishbia is getting trashed right now too. And I'm like, bro, did you see the previous regime? Forget the last couple years. Think about the entire longevity of Sarver's era here. Like, it was not great. No. Like, he got lucky at the beginning because Colangelo set it all up for him to have all that success. And then he did get Nash here. Cool. But, like, come on, man. What are we talking about here? And then, like, all these other moves, right? Like, you get Beal and everybody's happy at first. And then he gets hurt and everybody hates him. It's like, we got to stop with this, man.
Got to stop.
Psycho Blue sent us a super chat around Bradley Beal. They said, soft tissue, eh? Basketball Cthulhu wants to know if it's Spinal or Fulgore, which is a character. I think they're a bad guy. So if we're all looking for a scapegoat to blame, let's blame that person.
Lindsay, you looked that up, didn't you?
No, I totally did. Yeah. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is.
Eric back there knew what it was.
I got no idea.
It's from Killer Instinct. It's a character from Rare's Killer Instinct fighting series. I think they're a bad guy.
Okay.
So we'll blame them for all of
Basketball
our woes.
Cthulhu. Use English next time.
Right. Psycho Blue, nerd, but we love you.
We do. All right. Well, let's dive into this game a little bit. We'll start by looking at the injury report. We know Bradley Beal is out for this one. Eric Gordon is also out. He was questionable coming into tonight's game with left groin soreness. Jusuf Nurkic was listed as probable, but he will play. He is available in this one. So LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're available. They were listed as questionable. Cam Reddish, who was also listed as questionable, is out. In addition to him, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Christian Wood are also out as well. So pretty hefty injury report list for both teams when you combine them all together. But having Jusuf Nurkic back, I know size has been an issue for the Suns against this Lakers squad. How are you feeling about the way that they can tackle that?
I don't like that Eric Gordon's injured, but I do like that it lets Royce O'Neale start with this team today against this Lakers squad. Another guy that is a little bit more defensive minded than Eric Gordon, a guy that wouldn't be afraid to body up LeBron if put in that situation. So I like that in terms of what the lineup's going to look like. What I'm concerned about is the Lakers have found a starting lineup that works, and all these guys are in tonight. It's D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and LeBron James. They're 6-0 with that group, and it's a lineup the Suns haven't faced against the Lakers this year. So I'm interested in what that looks like, but I do like that we get Royce O'Neale in our starting lineup to face off against that group.
I mean, the Lakers are playing better. I don't want to go overboard. We've had times where the Suns have played good and people have pointed out who they played. Mm-hmm. Do the same thing with the Lakers. Go look at what the Lakers did, who they played, all this stuff. It all matters. It's all part of the discussion. But I will say this. There's a lineup I'm looking forward to Frank playing today that I didn't see in the last game as much. And I want to see a nice amount of time And that's Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neale, and Thad Young. I want to see those 5 guys on the court together. I also think that today is a game where you got to play Bobo. Bobo has to get 15 to 18 minutes today. He's proved that he's earned it. He deserves it. And he brings a different spark. 28 points off the bench the other day, 25 from Bobo. Yeah, if it walk like a duck and it quack like a duck, baby, don't call it a dinosaur. The kid can play some basketball, let him play. I like our chances today. With Nurk in the lineup, I think we'll be fine.
Ted Offensive stole what I was about to say. The fact that the Lakers are missing Vanderbilt and Reddish, it is a big deal.
It is.
Book has always played well against the Lakers, but Vanderbilt does give him a little bit of some issues because he's just an athletic, really good defensive player. And so him being out, I think Book's going to have the green light. I feel a big Devin Booker game coming on tonight. I really do.
Too.
I feel like he's going to have 40 plus tonight. But Nurkic, again, somebody else said this in the chat as well. Nurkic has not fared well at all this season against AD. He struggles with him because AD is obviously a little bit more athletic. He is lengthy. He can block your shot pretty much at ease. He kind of has his way with Nurkic. So they're going to have to be creative with what they do with Nurk. They're going to have you're probably not going to see Nurk down in the paint posting up AD as much as you normally would see him against other teams. He's probably going to be a little bit more perimeter based in this game to open things up down low.
Yep. Great.
All right. One of the other things that I'm looking for in tonight's game from the Suns specifically is how they come out in the third quarter, because that's been one of the biggest pain points in the last 2 games since they came back from the All-Star break. Obviously, the Mavs went on, I believe, a 16-0 run to start the third quarter on Thursday. Friday, I think the Rockets won the first part of the third quarter, like 15-7 or something along those lines. So I think that's going to be a real big key focal point in tonight's game is how do you come out of the halftime break? Because so far it hasn't been great for us. We've kind of seemingly lost a little bit of the that we had to start games, which has been really disappointing to see. Are you guys concerned about third quarter woes right now?
I think they're going to break all the trends today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
Post game, you're going to see it. We're going to replay this again in the post game as Eric takes me off the camera because he doesn't like what I have to say.
I will say this, Lens. I see what you're saying. And 2 games out of the break, it hasn't been nice. But I'm always going to stand on what I've been standing on the entire season is this team was built a certain way. And when you don't have all the pieces, you're going to have times in the game where there's going to be these lulls. And unfortunately, it's been the third quarter. Now, I know your follow-up is going to be, well, why don't they came out in the first fine? Why does it happen in the third? That's your follow-up, right? That's what you're going to say.
The follow-up is I understand that there will be lulls, but I still think this team should be able to win games even if they don't have their big 3 out there. Yeah. And they should be able to win games like we saw them lose just last week. That's my problem. Like, I understand your point, and you go back to this continuously, and I don't think you're wrong. That this team was built to have everyone available. Every team is built to have everyone available. But when you don't, you have to find ways to win games, especially games that you should be able to win if you're dealing with injuries. And I think Friday specifically, I do think they could have won the game against the Mavs, but Friday specifically, straight cheeks.
Yeah, no, that's a game.
Cheeks.
That's a game that you probably want to win. When I was coming out of the break, I looked at all 27 games. I had my book at home, and I did the win-loss for every game, and I came up with the number of 19-8 to start, right? And I had the Mavericks as a loss on my list, and I had the Rockets as a win. I mean, so it's 1-1. You know, I'm not going to go into the rest of the 25. It's real simple. They're supposed to be 1-1 and they're 0-2. They'll have an opportunity to make up that one game, I believe, somewhere. And when Kevin Durant and Devin Booker shoot 1 for 11 from 3, that's probably more. That's probably what I'm pointing out more than the third quarter was.
Okay, look, we've also said the effort hasn't felt like it was there the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with injuries.
No, but it better be there today because you're on national television. You're playing the Lakers. You're playing a team that's right up your backside trying to knock you out of playoff position. If there's a time to maybe flip that switch a little bit, fine. It's today. I get it. The Rockets in February and early March don't do much for you. Fine. But Lakers on ABC, on national television, where you're the one game that's going on and you're playing LeBron and AD, that should get your juices flowing at home.
I think they will. I think Saul nailed it. I think they're going to fix a lot of things today, and I expect them to play really well today. I do. But again, I'm going to ask you this. If the Suns play well, but lose this game,
I would feel better than
you have
on
a
Friday
problem?
when the Suns just gave up.
Would I have a problem? No.
Okay.
There's going to be games you lose, right?
Right.
That's acceptable. But the way you lose sometimes is just as important in the context of it. Will I be frustrated because the Lakers are a game and a half back? You're damn right I'll be frustrated, but it won't be because of the effort or the way the game played. It'll probably be because of the refs. Let's be frank.
If they win by if they win by 20, does it erase what happened on Friday? For
Makes you feel a hell of a lot better because you look at it and you go, okay, they stepped up. They didn't like the way they performed against Houston. They showed the effort. They beat a team that's going to be in the playoffs, or at least in the play-in that you could have be a problem in the playoffs.
Okay.
Like that, all those things matter to me. Context matters.
I do think that I would be a little bit more satisfied, even if they lost, if they just played within themselves and played as hard as they could, right? You know, if the Lakers play phenomenally and end up beating you, okay, so be it. But you got to force them to play phenomenally. You can't just give them the game because of your effort or, you know, your lackadaisical nature. So you got to be better than you were the other night. That's what I want to see. I agree with you, Espo. Like, we need consistency. We need players that look like they give a shit out there. You can't just be going through the motions if you turn the ball over and watch guys just go all the way to the end of the court and you don't even take 2 steps towards them. Come on, man. You gotta be better than that.
Well, and I think it's not a one-to-one conversation either. You can't be like, oh, well, Friday they didn't put in the effort and energy, but they did on Sunday, so now I'm feeling fine. I want to see them put in the effort and energy consistently for a 10-game stretch.
Well, they've been the best team.
It's on a scale.
Here's the thing,
But
though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, though, is it has nothing to do with one night to the other. It's the consistency across an entire season.
And that's the consistency of the narrative that blows the narrative blows my mind, because they've been, minus these 2 games coming off the break, they've been arguably the best team in basketball since Christmas. That's a long time. Like, we can't just ignore that because of these last 2 games. So when you say consistency, my pushback is, I mean, they've been the best team in basketball. They had more wins than anyone in basketball since Christmas.
Okay.
And we still saw some of those bad habits that need to get cleaned up.
But I don't think that teams are going to be, I don't believe in this world where you're just going to have this perfect run.
Of course not. Nobody knows.
The Mavericks were a tough loss and they weren't healthy. And that's a good Maverick team. And I expected them to lose that game. And the Rocket game was just a bad effort across the board. Your 2 star players didn't show up.
Okay, again, perspective matters, though, in terms of, yeah, maybe they were one of the hottest teams in basketball, but you know what that hottest team in basketball got you? You're still sitting in the 8th seed right now.
I mean,
and
that's
the thing.
It is true. It is
That's
true.
the thing,
Also,
because it matters.
Also, the mentality coming after the break is, you know, that this is the stretch run, right? This is when everybody's like, okay, this is where we got to put it all together because we're about to get to the playoffs and seeding does matter, right? And then you come out of the break and you have 2 kind of, you know, eggs of games. Like,
but the
you can't do
Clippers,
that.
you said it the other night, the Clippers got blown out of the break by 20.
I'm not talking about the Clippers. I'm talking about the Suns. Like, they can control this stuff. The way that Houston went on the tail end of what Dallas did was very upsetting because they didn't show any effort. They showed there was a lack of effort. And it's got to be better.
Look, and in the long run, you may be right, because if we look back and they wind up the 4th seed and they lost 2 and then they go on some giant run, sure. Again, in hindsight, with that perspective, that can be right. But the thing to me is, and I understand the fans looking at this, you're sitting in the 8th seed. And that, with the expectations that you came into the season, is frustrating as all hell to be looking at that and realizing.
But the context is you're sitting in that 8th seed because of all the damn injuries they've had this year.
That's all well and good. But if you lose games like Friday to the Rockets in that situation, you may still wind up seeing yourself in the play-in. If you wind up 4 or 5, maybe even 6 because of the injuries, and you can go, okay, they made it a little bit better it's from January on. But if you wind up in the play-in, Nobody's going to be happy with being in the play-in.
But that's okay. All right. Listen, I think the Suns are going to win today. I believe the Suns are going to win today. I believe they're going to kick Houston's ass on Thursday. I think they're going to kick Houston's ass on Saturday, and they're going to beat OKC on Sunday. They're going to be on a 4-game winning streak at this time next week, and they're going to be pushing for the 4 seed. And all this shit we're talking about them being an 8, because there's context behind it. They're 8, but they're like 3.5 from 4. Great. So, I mean, and this monster Laker team that we're worried about that's hot because they won 6 games, they're still behind us by damn near 3 games. So I feel like we give everybody else a pass, but we constantly pound on the bullshit with the Suns.
We don't care about anybody else. We're a Suns podcast.
You care about everybody else if you're telling me you're scared of the Lakers behind you.
No, you're sitting there talking about they're 3.5 games away from being the 4 seed. Yeah, they're also 3.5 games away from being the 10. Like, it's both ways. They got to play better overall.
There is both ways to it, but it seems like we constantly pounce on the glass half empty way instead of the other way.
If they don't play with effort, then yes, I'm always going to go that way for sure.
And it's a byproduct of having to talk about him every single day too.
We have a couple of super chats.
Look, a Suns fan just said, "I want the Lakers to win," so that flex is wrong. Good fan, man. What? Good job, yo.
All right. Travis sent us a super chat. Thank you, Travis. They said, Bobo needs these role players to step up, LOL. I mean, for real, though. How are you going to let Bobo's amazing night go to waste by giving him an L?
Yeah, support our damn superstar.
Like, what are we doing with our lives, you guys? No, but for real, that was super fun for Bobo. I wish we would have gotten a win to celebrate that a little bit more. Psycho Blue sent us $20. Thank you, Psycho Blue. They said Basketball Cthulhu also asked that PHNX staff not worry about the 2026 cap space, freedom, and prospects until 2026. Otherwise, Suns Twitter thinks we're abandoning hope of our window. People are weird like that.
I'm sorry, but you can be in the present and also understand the future still comes, and you should be concerned about that as well. If you only look at the present, you're screwed in the future. You gotta have a mindset that can handle both.
This is part of my frustration. This is why I'm lashing out today. Because I'm talking about something that's 2.5 years away, and somehow it applies to February, what's today's date? February 25th of 2024. I don't know how you correlate something that's 2.5 years away with what's going on today. I just don't get it.
I think that we want to put that job onto the front office and keep it behind the scenes.
Why?
Because then it makes us feel better.
Why?
It just is. I don't know.
No, Lindsay,
and when I say us, I mean the people on Twitter who are freaking out about talking about 2026.
They
want to pretend like we're not even worried about it because right now our only focus is this. I understand that to an extent. I don't think it's necessarily correct, but I understand what they're saying as far as they want to not have any feelings of anybody being like, this season is over and we're doomed.
Can we make this real simple? And I think we all need to agree on this premise. Very little outside of 16 wins between the middle of April and the end of June are going to make anybody happy in this town. So nothing is going, unless you hold up to Larry O'Brien, people are going to be miserable. They're going to get angry about anything that happens, and we have to accept that. I think that is just the reality of this team and what's going on is unless they win those 16 in the playoffs, people are going to be pissed off with this team and perspectives on this team.
And I think a lot of it, because Psycho Blue sent another chat saying, yeah, thinking about 2026 is a tanking team's media's job. And I think it does bring flashbacks to where when we were a really bad team, that was what we had to hold on to, right? How many times as media, when we won 19 games in a season, did we talk about summer league and prospects and what this year and next year and the 3-5 years down the line could look like? Because that's all we had to look forward to. So it's probably a little bit of PTSD in there. Let's be honest.
Hey, Espo, what are the guys wearing tonight? Funny you laugh, Espo. Let's take a look. It's the City Edition El Valle versus the Lakers white uniforms. Oh, boy, Espo, that looks fun. Why, yes, it does.
Great jersey, that El Valle jersey. We love to see it. Who you guys got tonight? By how much?
Let me just say this. The only jersey I like more than that is New Jersey. All right, Flex? There we go. Let's take a look. By how much, Lindsay, you asked?
Yeah.
Let's find out. I have the Suns by 8.
Look at that. Optimistic.
Brian
as all
McKnight, what are you
get
talking
out.
about? I just said I think the Suns are going to beat all the trends today and they're going to win. And Devin Booker's going to have 40 plus. How optimistic do I have to be?
I'm being a little pessimistic here.
I'm more optimistic than Flex. I got him by 4.
Yeah, well, you all can shut up. I got him by 8, which is more than anybody.
I don't have him by anything because speaking into the future is not allowed. So I don't know what's gonna happen today.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this moment right now.
Y'all broke Flex.
We did. We broke Flex. Sorry, Flex. What do our friends at the BetMGM Sportsbook app think about tonight's game?
They're not as optimistic as they should be. They only have the Suns by 3.5.
How dare they?
Screw those people. Except for the money. We like their money, all right?
Well, what are you guys putting your money on tonight? Who wants to start us?
I'll start. I
Okay.
just want to take it nice and easy today. I got Devin Booker first bucket.
Ooh.
I'm going to be really upset if that hits for you because it didn't hit for me the other night.
I almost did specific because I saw Espo do it. And I was like, ooh, I should take Booker.
Was
Specific.
this first field goal in general, right?
Yeah.
Or for Suns?
For Suns.
No,
general.
In general?
In general.
Okay.
In general.
Espo, what'd you do? You went specific with it?
Mhm.
Well, I will one-up you, and I will say it's going to be Grayson Allen 2-pointer, and it's going to be for plus 2,000 today.
Sheesh, I hope that
Because
doesn't
why the
hit.
hell not?
If that hits, we're in trouble.
I swung for the fences today.
What you got, Flex?
I got you. I got to start swinging. I got 25 left. So I got the Suns win, the under 241.5. And then I kind of like what Saul said earlier. I think Book's going to go get 30. I think KD might get 30. And if Nurk gets me 20 PRA, it's a plus 1,050. So this is how I get into the green,
Okay.
into the positive.
I like this.
Yeah.
Listen, I decided that since all of you guys are seemingly taking big swings these days, right? It's always a plus 500 or more.
Yeah,
I'm just going to $5 inch my way up that
inching it.
ladder.
Keep inching it.
I'm just going to $5 inch my way
That's
up that
smart.
ladder. I am taking the under on Jusuf Nurkic assist tonight. It's a minus 130. Give me my $5.87.
What is it? 3.5?
3.5?
Oh, you're in
that's
trouble.
It's a
Lynn.
minus
Oh, he's
130?
definitely losing that one.
Because today he's going to be a
He's
passer.
going to be a passer
I
today.
understand that.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
last time these two teams matched up, he only had 3. So I'm going to roll with the under.
Okay.
You know what? I just
The last
checked-
time the Suns and the Lakers
Oh,
played,
you did your
Nurk had
research.
3.
You did your research.
So
I
I'm
just
rolling
checked-
with the under.
I
I
just
think you
checked
had
the
foul
odds.
trouble that game. Though.
I got a good one we should have went with. BetMGM has a plus 900 that Flex has an aneurysm by post game.
Yo, take it.
Wait,
Take
plus-
the over.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Well, you know what? Xavier, they say those 4 have no chance. Hopefully you can do it better. And if you can, you should absolutely sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app using the bonus code PHNX. Because when you use that bonus code and you place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $5, you are going to receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. That's why we love BetMGM, because they hook us up even if we lose. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Get hugged, Ontario, because God, we need some positivity right now.
Speaking of positivity, we do have another super chat. It's not very positive, but Michael sent us one and said, I don't give a who plays, win, period.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm cool.
I mean, it's not negative. It's just a request. So I agree with you, though. Hopefully the Phoenix Suns
The
can get a
aneurysm
win.
meter is getting higher and higher.
This show is weird.
In
Just
general or
around.
just today?
Groundhog Mama said in the chat earlier, she's like, I hate when mom and dad fight. This is a
Wait,
little bit of a weird
Are you
deal,
dad
you're
of the
right.
chat's
Yeah,
mom?
what's going on here?
No, like you guys are mom and dad.
We weren't.
Oh,
we
we're not
were-
fighting.
We
no.
were, yeah.
I mean, we
You were fighting with him more than we were, so you should be
Okay,
mom
then
and
I'm
dad.
mom and he's dad. Fine. We were all fighting in some way, shape, or form.
Gender specifically, it makes more sense.
Please win, just so we can stop this.
Okay.
Like I
thank
said,
you
this
for
show is
hanging
weird.
in.
We
We
need
appreciate
to
you
win
guys.
better.
Don't forget to meet us right back here after the game wraps up. Okay, bye.
Pray for us.
We all silly like the mayor.